Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 7 of the Together We Grow podcast. My name is Paul Main, and I'm here with Tamer.
Hi, everybody.
And this is the podcast where we talk about our experiences of starting, growing, and ultimately selling a home fragrance business whilst working together as partners and all of the challenges that come with that.
All of the ups and downs.
Yeah. During these podcasts, we talk about everything it took for us to actually grow our business, all of the tactics and strategies we use, so you can take those and hopefully implement them into your business. Plus, we talk quite a lot of personal stuff about what it's actually like working together.
Yep, we certainly do. We cover all types of topics.
Absolutely. And in this episode, we're going to talk about what it's like working with friends and family, because we've done that quite a lot now, haven't we?
We have, yeah. So we want to share sort of the experiences we've had and any tips and tricks that we might have picked up along the way.
Exactly. So let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it. So, episode 7 now. That's gone quick, hasn't it? But it's sort of a bit of a blur, really, isn't it? It's been 7 weeks that we've been recording these now.
Yeah, we're enjoying it. There's a handful of listeners, which is good across the different platforms that this is on. I was
about to say the same thing. It's available on Apple, Spotify, and you can also find it on our website, which is homefragrance.academy.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are listening to this and you are a home fragrance business owner or aspiring to be a home fragrance business owner, go to homefragrance.academy and have a look through what we do and how we help people. Basically, Tamer and I, we built a very successful home fragrance business consisting of 3 different brands here in the UK. We grew it to sales of £7.5 million. We recently sold it. And now we're giving away all of our secrets, all of our tactics, everything we learned, so we can help you grow your home fragrance business.
And that's what we love doing. We love helping others, don't we? And helping their businesses to grow.
We do. That's a real positive of ours, and it's something we love doing. So we're going to continue doing it. And we decided to start a podcast because we like talking. We've got a lot to talk about.
We can sort of fill in lots of waffle, can't we?
And it turns out that some people like listening to it as well. So, we're going to be talking about what it's like working with friends and family and our experiences of doing that, good and bad, over the past 6 years.
Because, of course, we've had both experiences, haven't we? So it wouldn't be real if we didn't tell you everything, would it?
No, exactly. And how did this really start? I guess when you start a business as a young person, naturally you're going to have friends and family who want to help you out.
Yeah.
And that was the case, wasn't it?
It certainly was, yeah. Right at the beginning, from very, very early on, I had my mum helping and your nan, didn't I, every single day?
Yeah.
Which was really nice. And I might add, they only did it for love and wax melts, didn't they?
They did, at the beginning. Yeah, that's always going to happen, though, isn't it? Right at the very beginning, because they love you and they want you to
succeed.
To succeed, so they're going to help out. And that did happen, didn't it?
It did for a very long time, actually.
In 2018, when we were working from home, making at home, you would make the products, load them into the car, go pick up your mum, my nan, they live next door to each other, and then drive to our safe storage unit, and then you'd work together to package up the orders and things, wouldn't you?
But I'd have mum and nan stand on one side of the table each, putting together wax melt boxes, and I'd be going through the orders, picking them, like, right, mum, I need you to fold all these tissue papers. Nan, I need some more of these boxes, and we'd sort of like separate the jobs between us, and it was quite a nice thing to do. Yeah,
they were good days. That was good. That was very enjoyable. That beginning part of your business journey, when you can start to see the growth, that is very enjoyable.
It is, yeah.
And every now and then when you're working there, because our unit was on a little business park where there was a Greggs and everything, I used to come in like a hero with a coffee and a cake for you, didn't I?
Yeah, or hot chocolate and a donut, something like that. Yeah,
save the day.
Fill us up with calories.
Absolutely. No, that was good. That was good fun, and that worked out really well, didn't it? Because
it did.
They wanted to see the business grow. The business was growing. Yeah. They were feeling fulfilled in helping you. And obviously you were getting the help that you needed at the time.
Yeah, and it made a big difference because it was people that I could obviously trust. So there was times like when I had to leave mum and nan behind, so I had to go and pick up something from home or meet a delivery or even take my car to the garage or something like that. And I knew that things were going to carry on because there's mum and nan doing it.
Exactly. And then in 2019, when we first moved into our main unit
Yeah.
and we were working together full time, my nan still carried on, but that was a little bit more formal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a little bit more formal, yeah. It was only like a couple of days a week that she'd come down, wouldn't she? And
We'd pick her up in the morning, drop her
yeah,
off in the evening,
and
and she
she
got
loved
paid
it.
for it as well.
She did, yeah.
Only
And
only like £30 a day, but it was
yeah, but we
something,
wanted
wasn't
to give her something to say thank you, really, didn't we? Because she absolutely loved doing it and it helped us out so much.
it? Yeah. Obviously, she's my nan, so she's not young and sprightly anymore. Well, she's
No,
sprightly, but she's
she's
not young.
sprightly, yeah. Well, she's 80 now, isn't
Yeah.
she?
So she did that for probably a couple of months, I imagine,
Yeah,
and then decided that wasn't really for her,
which is fair
which
enough.
is fair enough. But then also in 2019, that's when things started to grow towards the back
Yeah.
end of 2019, and that's when we got my sister on board as well, didn't we?
Yep, we still had mum helping out as well at home
Yes, yes, she was helping from home. Oh yeah,
because
that
that
was
was the
right.
first
Yeah.
Christmas we had our first advent calendar, wasn't it?
So yeah,
So,
we would load up the car the night before. Basically, your mum used to like fold boxes and do
yeah,
things like that for us, didn't she?
yeah, all the bits that take a long time to do and are really important for the finished product, but we just didn't have the time to fit it all in alongside packing the orders up and making all the products and everything. So all of those little bits like that, like folding tissue paper and things like that, they were all done for us from by mum at home.
Yeah. And we used to load up the car the night before we left
Yep,
work. And then it was the next morning on the way into work, because they used to live very, very close to us.
yep,
We used to pull into theirs,
yep.
drop
Load the
off,
car up.
drop off work, pick up work, and then
Yeah,
your mum used to sit there do that for the day, didn't she?
yep.
She used to love it.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, and as the year went on, we my sister started to help out from home, doing a couple
Yeah,
of bits, and then we actually employed her, didn't we?
we did, yeah.
On quite an informal agreement, but that's when things started to turn,
Yeah,
because that's when we moved into COVID and lockdown,
yeah.
all of that kind of stuff, and it was a very informal agreement with my sister.
There wasn't agreement at all, was it? It was just like sort of whatever hours she did, we paid her for those hours kind of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was come in, as and when you can between children, and you do some work and we'll pay you for that.
Yeah.
So all very sort of. She wasn't even on payroll, I don't think.
No.
So very informal, and yeah, but that turned a bit nasty with lockdown, didn't it? Where
It,
she thought she was entitled to furlough because she had to be at home with the children. We wanted her to carry on working.
yeah.
Furlough wasn't an optional. It was it was something optional on her part anyway. It
Yeah.
was for us to decide. But we wanted her to continue working from home. She decided she didn't have time to do that, and yeah, that's where things got just a little bit nasty there, didn't
Yeah, it
it?
did.
And
Quite sour.
that's where you have to be careful, really careful with
How you
hiring friends.
navigate the relationship.
Exactly, and hiring friends and family. And this was the first lesson we learned, was that fallout, because that there was other things that happened later on, which meant that we don't actually have a relationship with my
Yeah.
sister anymore. But that sort of was the start of that, wasn't
It
it?
was a bit of the start of that, really.
And I think my main lesson there was that even with friends and family, is to make sure you follow all of the proper legal processes, and you hire people properly, and
Be formal.
be very formal. So contracts, staff handbooks, holidays, sicknesses, make sure they're all recorded properly
Yeah.
using a system. Make sure all of that is formal. When you're working with them day to day, be friendly, do whatever,
Oh, yeah, do all of
long
that
as they're
like
working
normal.
hard and everything. But make sure the formal side of employing someone is there, even with friends and family. If they're going to be, if it's more than just helping you out and they're going to get paid for working a few days a week, make sure they're contracted. Make sure everything like that is sorted out, because then it's black and white.
It protects both parties then, doesn't it? Everybody knows exactly where
Yep.
they stand. It's just easier to navigate.
Exactly. You know what rights you have. They know what rights they have. It's all perfectly fine then, isn't
Yep.
it?
It's all completely simplified that way then, isn't
Yeah.
it?
And since then, that's exactly what we did, wasn't it?
Yep.
Because after that, it was later in 2020 when actually your mum was still doing some bits and pieces for us. We decided,
To officially hire her.
you've been doing this for 2 years now. Shall we actually hire you and pay you for this?
Yep.
Things were going well at work, and it was unfair that she was just doing all this stuff for nothing. She would carry on doing that, of course,
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
she's
she
your mum.
would.
But we actually hired her, didn't we? So
We did,
we
yeah.
paid her a proper salary. She
Yep.
had a contract.
Yep.
All of that kind of stuff. Everything there was
Yep.
formal. So as we said, that was a lesson we learned. And yeah, then she was contracted to 4 hours a day.
Yep.
making boxes and whatever else we needed from
Yeah,
home.
and then we'll do exactly the same as what we'd done all the way through. Drop them off, pick them up on the way through, and it just made such great use of the time, didn't it? Because those 4 hours were outsourced, and we didn't have to worry about the actual product in the boxes being made or anything, did
No,
we?
exactly. And then when they're contracted and it's an actual job, not just helping out, there are obligations and
Yeah.
responsibilities from the employer and from the employee. That's when there's not really any issues, is there?
No,
Because
it's just simple.
it's a job, isn't it? It's a job.
Yeah, like
And
any other that you'd get paid at wherever you are.
yeah, and that works well. And in fact,
Hmm.
we're no longer at the business. We obviously sold it 5 months ago, but your mum still works for them,
Yeah,
doesn't
Mum
she?
still works there.
So she's the longest serving employee there. She's
She
been
is,
she's been there for, well, since we started,
since the
but
beginning.
officially employed for 4 years now,
Yeah,
4 or so years.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's a good example of how it can go well.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, and I think that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it is just about making sure that you're black and white, stick to contracts
Yeah,
and follow the law and everything, and then make sure that you can just be friendly and chat like normal and everything during the day,
yeah,
but follow those rules and regulations because it just makes everything so much easier for both parties.
yeah. It does. And with your mum as well, she is retired
Yeah,
from, I say retired, she's working now. She's
yeah,
working, but retired from her career.
hmm,
Your dad is full-time employed.
yeah,
Your mum hasn't really got much to do, so she enjoys doing it.
yeah.
And what we did, instead of because money and bonuses and stuff like that doesn't really mean a huge amount to relatives like that who are
No,
comfortable and
it's more
perfectly
about the
fine.
support of helping you
Exactly.
as a family member.
But what we did do was a nice gift, which was in 2020, towards the back end, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Was your mum wanted a mobility scooter.
yeah,
Not because she's disabled or anything, but just for her own transport.
yeah. She doesn't drive.
She doesn't drive, so she wanted something where she could go and see her mum,
Yeah,
your nan, um, and go down to the shops and just potter about really.
yeah.
So we got her a mobility scooter, didn't we?
Yeah,
As
we
like a
did. Like a little
through the
bonus.
business as like a little thank you bonus,
Yeah,
that kind of thing, which she loves, and just doing little things like that goes a long way.
it does. Yeah, and it's just about recognising the hard work that she did for those full 2 years beforehand, completely free, and
Yeah,
it's just a thank you, wasn't it?
it was.
And she still uses it every, a couple of days a week now, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Still,
yeah, yeah, which is good. It's one of the best things I think we ever got, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
And that was yeah. She works extremely hard. She
Hmm.
worked very hard with us. She works hard
Yeah.
now. And that was a pleasure really because that was one of those things where if we said to her, "No, I know you're 4 hours a day, but we need these for tomorrow morning," and if it meant that she had to work 12 hours that day, she would
She would,
because she's your mum.
and she'd have even got Dad to help out after work as
Oh
well.
yeah, your
They
dad probably
both
works just as much as you will.
probably does.
Yeah, that worked. That did work well. And then obviously as things progressed into 2021, when we got our newer building, the building that they're in now,
Yeah.
that's when we hired Nathan.
Yeah.
And Nathan is my closest friend,
Yeah.
and I've known him since I was in high school.
A
So
long time ago.
not that long,
You've been friends for over 20 or 23 years, is it?
something like that. So exactly, so not that long. And that was a worry. He wanted a career change.
Yeah.
He was working in Asda,
Mhm.
and when he started there, he was just like most people are, stacking shelves. He moved up to different departments. He was then in charge of the bakery, and then he was actually running the whole home delivery network.
Yeah.
So he was doing very well, and he was used to managing a team
Mhm.
under pressure, dealing with HR and all of that stuff. So he was a very good fit for what we
Yeah.
wanted because we wanted an operations manager. As we were growing, we wanted someone to take over the day-to-day running of the business, making sure everyone was doing their job, making sure things were done on time, making sure orders were getting out, making sure supplies and stock was all where it needed to be.
Yeah, then we could focus on the bigger picture.
On the bigger picture, growing opportunities, marketing, sales, all of that kind of stuff. So it was a really good fit. But Nathan and I both had our concerns. He's a very intelligent guy, and we were very concerned that something like this could affect our friendship,
Yeah.
especially after the situation with my sister. And this is something that we agreed right from the beginning, which is anything that happens in work stays in work. and we still meet up at the weekends.
Hmm.
We still
Go to
go to
football,
football,
go to the pub, all that sort of
all
stuff.
of that kind of stuff. Yeah, and thankfully that worked, didn't it?
It did, yeah, because it was just a worry after having such a long, really lovely friendship that then working together like that as bit and being his boss can be difficult because you have to have difficult conversations, especially with management level as well. It can be a lot of pressure on a relationship, can't it?
Yeah, definitely. And also, we're part of the same friendship group.
Yeah.
So if we fell out, then it would be very awkward meeting up with other friends because he'd be there, all that kind of stuff. And we just did not want that.
No,
Um,
but I think that our relationship with him is a lot stronger than that as well. And
exactly.
the way that we worked together worked really well,
Yeah.
and how right from the beginning we all had the same concerns that we want our friendship and to outlast anything that might happen at work.
Yeah.
So we were both very careful with that, weren't we?
We
And
were.
protected that.
And I actually think that hiring Nathan was probably one of the best things we could do for our friendship.
Yeah.
Because before that, I'd see him every 2 or 3 weeks, something
Hmm.
like this, on the text and all this kind of stuff often. But then going from that to seeing him every single day and becoming even closer.
Hmm.
Because before we were working together, he was one of my closest friends,
Yeah.
and then he's gone from that to now being probably my closest friend.
No, he definitely is.
Definitely
Yeah.
is. We know everything about each other,
Hmm.
and seeing him every day. I mean, he's such a pleasure to be around. He's so funny,
He
and
is.
he brightens your day. And I said this in my best man speech for him because I was his best man a couple of weeks ago, and I said to him that even on days where he's come in where he's had a very rough night, because he has a lot of things happening in his
Hmm.
personal life, and if he's in a bad place, he comes in and he pushes all of that to one side and still leads his team to the
Hmm.
best of his ability, and is still that happy-go-lucky bloke at work.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is I mean, I couldn't do that.
It's a hard thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that shouldn't be underestimated.
Oh, definitely not.
And yeah, and we've built a little pub in our back garden now, and
Yeah.
he comes around regularly and has a few drinks in there. And yeah, it was the best thing ever. Don't get me wrong, we did have sort of a few very testing times.
Oh, of course, yeah, because at the end of the day, it's still, regardless of our relationship personally, it's still an employee and employer relationship. So sometimes you have to have really serious conversations that
Yeah,
you might not want to have, but that's what happens when you employ
that's it.
somebody. And when you're in that building, no matter what, you have to do what you need to do to run
That's
your
right.
business and run
And
your team.
and I think he understood that.
Yeah.
But it was still some difficult conversation. There were times where, things weren't going how we wanted them to go. So we had to pick that up with him,
Mm.
and sort of say, look, things need to be better here.
Yeah.
And there were some really tough conversations, to the point where he wanted to walk out a few times. I did walk out a couple of times, and it was tough. But we were then sort of quiet with each other for a couple of days. But then we remembered what we said.
Yeah.
We brushed it under the carpet and we moved forward. There
Mm.
were times where we had disagreements one day, and then we were out together the following day.
Yeah, watching football or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we sort of on purposely, when we go out in a social environment, it's very rare that we talk about work.
Only if something like you get an email while you're out or
Hmm.
something that you have to mention straight away.
But
But
yeah.
your relationship is different. You don't need to talk about work when you're not at
Yeah,
work.
before we hired Nathan, I used to go out with a couple of friends who work together in the building industry, and they used to talk about work all the time,
Yeah.
complaining about jobs they're working on, talking about the good parts, talking about how good this is all the time. That's what they used to talk about, which is fine. I love that because I love hearing what they're up to, and I really enjoy all of that. So there's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that. But I can understand that in a network of friends, people don't want to hear about it all the time.
No.
But also, it's nice, I think, for you to try and put that to one side and then actually
Socialise.
socialize with your friends and talk about things they're up to and talk about,
Mm.
things other than work.
Yeah,
And
because even though that we've run businesses for quite a few years, that's not the only thing that happens in your life, is it?
yeah,
And
exactly.
especially for other people that don't run businesses, work isn't absolutely everything, is it?
No, that's
Finding
right.
that balance.
Yeah. So yeah, that works. That worked very well with him, isn't it?
Hmm.
And some things you have to be careful of when you hire. Certainly, someone as close as what Nathan is to me, especially, is damaging that relationship
Yeah.
because ultimately you think from our point of view, and if you're listening to this from your point of view, your business is everything.
Hmm.
Your employees, it's their livelihood,
Yeah.
but for you, it's your life. It's something you're building.
Hmm.
You've invested a huge amount of time, effort, and money into building your business.
And nobody's going to care as much as you do about your business
That's
because
it.
it's your
No
business.
matter what your friends and family say,
Hmm.
they will not care as much as you do. It's a fact because,
Just why should they?
well, yeah, it's not theirs, is it?
Mm.
They can sort of go home, forget about it until the next day. You're going to be the one answering emails, answering social media messages, all of this stuff throughout the night because that's what you do as a business owner. So it's a fact, and because of that, you're going to treat that as the priority
Yeah.
because it should be
Yeah.
really. It should be the priority, and therefore, because of that, there can be damaged relationships,
Hmm.
as we found with my sister, and
It can cause friction.
it can cause, yeah, exactly, and that's not what you want. And then, of course, you've got the whole disciplinary side of things, because that's strange when you're trying to. And even talking about it's hard. We've never had to do this with Nathan, but I can
No.
just imagine when you're disciplining someone. Don't get me wrong, we've had strong conversations,
Yeah.
um,
But that's like management conversations,
yeah,
isn't it?
but going through disciplinary processes and stuff like that, which we've had to do with employees,
Yeah.
but doing that with your close friends or family,
That
you
would
know,
be tough.
that would be tough, and that's not something we've experienced.
No, we haven't, luckily. But we've been, like you say, you've been through the disciplinary procedures
Yeah,
before with other employees, and you know how hard it is with somebody that you don't
exactly.
have a personal connection with.
But, and this leads me on to my next point as well, is you must not, you must be prepared to do that if you have to.
Yeah.
Because, and my next point is, you don't want your other team, your other employees, to feel like that person is getting special treatment
Yeah.
because they are your friend or your
Yeah.
family member. And that's something which I think we did quite well with.
I think so,
I
yeah.
don't think I never, not that I heard of anyway, and that's not to say it didn't happen, but I don't recall any comments or hearing anything about
Like
Nathan
favouritism or anything like
getting
that.
exactly no special treatments, nothing like that,
No.
because that's not what we were about.
No. I think we were very careful to make sure that everybody stuck to what they needed to do, and anybody that didn't would be called up on it. It doesn't matter who you were.
Yeah,
If you were just like you could be a warehouse person, you could be in management, you could be in marketing, whatever it was. You needed to do your job, obviously, and if you didn't, you'd be called up on it, no matter who you were.
yeah, and that's what we did,
Hmm.
and that's what we did with other employees as well, where
Yeah.
we call them up on stuff, and then that relationship turns sour.
Hmm.
We've had people leave that we'll never speak to again.
Yep.
We've had people leave that we can't wait to speak to again.
Yep.
As an example, you know what I'm going to say. We had Lauren, who was our creative designer. She was a wonderful person,
She's lovely,
it
Lauren.
really is. And I hadn't seen her for a year or so. But then at Nathan's wedding, I had no idea that she was going to be there,
No, nor did I.
and she just sort of popped up and in her bright jolly self saying hello and all this. I was like, oh wow, I was really. So I had a nice conversation with her, and yeah, see, that's the sort of person where I'd love to speak to as often as I can.
Yeah.
Um, and that happens, and that's what you want, when because
Yeah.
people do leave and move on. You don't want a bad taste in your mouth.
No, like Erica left, didn't she, as
Yeah,
well? And she was absolutely fantastic, wasn't she? She was our production team leader for quite a long time,
yeah,
and she left to move across to Milton Keynes with her boyfriend and buy a house and everything. So it was a really positive move for her. And she'd come back to Ipswich a few times and visited and popped into work and saw everybody and ended up helping out for half a day.
yeah. She did, didn't she? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was
So that was
wonderful.
a really lovely relationship. So when some people leave, it's for positive reasons,
Yeah,
which is something that you want, isn't it?
yeah. Of course. And then, of course, on the flip to that, you have people that leave where you've ushered them out the door, or where they have left because
Because they're
they
not happy about something, or
exactly. Yeah,
and then we've had that where people have left thinking the grass is greener on the other side, essentially, and then asking to come back. We've had that with 3 different people, haven't we?
that's it. And that's a good point actually, because that's something we said right from the beginning: is if you leave, you're not coming back
Yeah.
because
If you leave for a negative reason, something that you're not happy with,
yeah,
then you make that decision not because
yeah,
you want to try a different opportunity or something like that. But if you leave for a negative reason, the chances are that we haven't changed anything, the chances are that you coming back isn't going to be the right decision for you or for us.
Exactly, because if you've left for a negative reason, because you don't like this person or you don't like this process or you don't like this rule or whatever it is, when you come back, chances are that negative reason will still be there.
Yeah.
So it's inevitable that you're going to be unhappy with that again at some point in the future. And that was the decision we made on it.
Yeah.
If you like,
and we stuck to it.
exactly, and like you said, if someone left because they moved away, but then that didn't work out, so they moved back, perfect,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah,
You know,
we would have
or
always hired people back like that, like Erica, for instance,
exactly,
wouldn't we?
or if they left because they wanted to try this, or they had an opportunity for their dream job or whatever,
Yeah.
but then decided they wanted to come back because working for us was their dream job,
Yeah.
which it should be, then of course that would be fine as well.
Yeah. Obviously, you'd have to judge it case by case and
I
circumstances
don't think that ever happened.
wise.
Did we have someone leave and come back? I don't think that ever happened.
No.
I can't think of.
No, we didn't have leaving and coming back.
No,
No.
no. But yeah, so to sum this up, really, work with friends and family.
Oh no, we did. We had Janice, didn't we?
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, Janice.
Janice was lovely.
Janice was part time in our
Felixstowe shop.
shop, and when we closed that down, obviously Janice had to leave.
Yep, had to be made redundant,
Had to be
didn't
made
she?
redundant. And then it was that Christmas that we needed extra help, and we contacted Janice and see if she wanted to come and give us a hand, and she did.
Yep, and she did it 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row she did that, did she?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it. So she sort of came to help us out at Christmas, which was wonderful.
Yeah, like
because
Christmas temporary.
she was a wonderful character.
Yeah.
The team loved her, we loved her, and she was a hard worker. Yeah, and so that's a real positive there. isn't
Yeah.
it? So, exactly. So yeah, working with friends and family as a whole I think is fantastic, but you have to do things right.
Yeah.
So the pros of working with, in my opinion, pros of working with friends and family is, firstly, you know them.
Yeah.
So you know their traits, and you probably know what their work ethic is like.
Yeah.
So therefore you can make a decision straight away on their history. I mean, we have friends and family that I would employ at a drop of a hat, and likewise we have friends and family that I wouldn't want to employ at all.
Yeah.
Just due to different characters, you know.
Yeah.
And because they're your friends and your family, they have your best. They have your best interest at heart.
Yeah. They want to help you.
They want you to succeed, so you know that they are going to have your back, basically. And typically, it will make a really enjoyable environment.
Because you've already got that relationship. You already know how to laugh and joke with them, and you don't have to start from nothing.
Exactly, yeah. That's it. And some of the cons is, if you're not careful, if you don't do things properly, if you don't do things professionally, then you can damage relationships and there can be fallouts.
Yeah.
Which is something you don't want. We've experienced it. It's not pleasant because it doesn't just damage that relationship.
No, it damages all the connecting relationships to a certain extent.
So if you have a relationship with that person's closer friends and family members, then obviously it's going to damage that as well.
Yeah.
And if they're part of your close friend circle, then there's going to be tensions there. Having to do disciplinary to friends and family, we've never had to do that.
No.
But having to do that, I can imagine, will be incredibly tough. But you need to be prepared to do it. And we would have done it.
Well, we would have done it. So if you're not prepared to do that, don't hire these
Exactly.
people.
And you have to be careful that other team members don't think that person's getting special treatment.
Yeah.
Because that's not what you want. Otherwise, that's going to cause all sorts of issues in your business, unhappiness, unrest, and people will leave and they won't do the best job possible. So that kind of sums that up, really. Would we do it again? Would you do it again?
I would do it again because we've learned
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, yeah, you think not only have we've done that with Nathan, but we hired Nathan's other half.
Yeah, Lindsay as well.
They were just partners at the time, Lindsay.
Yeah.
And then whilst they were working together with us, they became engaged and they're now married.
Yeah.
And during that, I mean, when we hired Lindsay, obviously she was Nathan's other half, so we were friends with her. But since she's been employed, your relationship with Lindsay has blossomed incredibly, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. She's definitely my closest friend as well, so it's really nice, actually. You're Nathan's closest friend, I'm Lindsay's closest friend, so it's just really lovely. So I was at maid of honour at her wedding as well.
Yeah.
So we were like double team, weren't we, there, which was quite nice.
So exactly. So that's I think that is a success story on its own, actually.
Yeah.
Is us four working together has really blossomed our friendship. You know, it's only 2 or 3 weeks ago we went out together, just us four. We had
Yeah.
in our village we had like a little
We went out for an Indian, then went to the social club and
social
watched
club.
the tribute act, didn't we?
Yeah, we did that. They came back to us for a couple of beers. On
Mm.
a every now and then we'll invite people round to come to our little bar,
Yeah.
and they'll come round and we have a great laugh. We
Hmm.
spend time together. We're going to have like a Halloween party this year.
Yeah.
We're gonna
That's under Lindsay's strict
yeah,
instructions. We
yeah,
have to do fancy dress.
exactly. We're gonna invite them all round for Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
And it's really lovely now, isn't it?
It is. It's nice to have that real. It's not really like friendship, is it? It's family.
Yeah.
It is a family.
And now that we've left the business, I said this to you before, didn't I? It's
Mm.
actually quite sad that I don't get to see Nathan every day,
Yeah.
because I do miss that. I miss those laughs and seeing him and having updates from him every day. And now we've gone back to chatting every now and then via text message or when they come round and when we see them. So it's different now.
It is.
But
But that connection is still there.
yeah,
The last however what 4 years it's been
yeah,
that we were working together has really strengthened the relationship.
exactly. So yeah, we would definitely do it again, wouldn't we?
We would, yeah, and
And
would implement the things that we've learnt along the way
exactly that
to make sure we're formal, to make sure we follow all of the rules properly, no matter what, because it protects both parties.
and make sure you're hiring the friends and family you're hiring. In your gut, that
Yeah,
they are going to be good
yeah.
workers.
As a business owner, don't ignore your gut feeling.
Exactly. Okay, cool. So, Tamer's little segment now.
Yeah.
What's your shout out of the week?
My shout out of the week today goes to Rachel from Little Ideas with Love. She did a live shop recently and she completely sold out of all of her products.
Yes.
So that is incredible, and congratulations, Rachel. I can't wait to hear how your next one goes, which I know you're already planning.
Yeah, well done, Rachel. That's what we love to see, isn't it?
It certainly
Selling
is.
out of products. I mean, that's what you want in business.
And we always talk about doing live shops and how important it is to do for your business.
Live shops are wonderful.
Yeah.
They're so good. Not only do you get that instant sales for the 1.5 to 2 hours that you're going live, but it's that engagement with your audience.
It is. It's building up that relationship and that community feel and that trust between you and your customers. Because when your customers talk to you through a live shop, you will remember things.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh, this person posted about this a couple of days ago. And then when you remind them what they've said and stuff like that, it really builds that relationship up.
Exactly. You mustn't forget that.
No.
It's really good. So well done, Rachel. That's great news.
It's fantastic news. We love hearing that.
And now you have a quote of the week as well.
And I have a quote of the week as well. So my quote of the week is taken from one of Paul's favourite entrepreneurs, James Sinclair. It's not your lack of resources, it's your lack of resourcefulness that stops you from winning.
Yeah.
So that was in one of the things that I read from him recently. I think it was
Yeah.
his last week. So there's plenty of resources, including the Home Fragrance Academy. So everything is at your fingertips. So don't ignore all the resources around you.
Well, that's true. And you can say it's never been easier to grow a business these days.
Exactly.
Because you have social media. You can create a TikTok account today.
Yeah.
You can create a video today, and that video has the potential to be seen by millions of people.
Yeah.
Because there are hundreds of thousands of people that are doing exactly that.
Yeah.
And try and do that 20 years ago, 25 years ago, you wouldn't be able to do it. It would
No.
cost you a fortune in advertising.
Yeah, it's a different time now, and you've got everything there to be able to do that. And all like you say, TikTok, for instance, that's a free resource.
Exactly. But equally, it can be incredibly hard as well this time.
Yeah.
At this time of the in this day and age, because there are so many people out there doing it as well. So competition's never been higher, but it's never been easier to grow that audience.
Yeah.
So that's why you need people like us at the Home Fragrance Academy who are niche down helping home fragrance business owners to guide you and talk about the tactics and the ins and outs of things that your competitors probably aren't doing. In fact, I can almost guarantee they're not. We know this because we talk to home fragrance business owners all the time.
Yeah.
And the most basic stuff that we think people should implement, retention strategies, as an example, they do not do. So as soon as you start implementing that, you are above most of your competitors straight away.
And don't forget, you have to be consistent as well.
You do.
You just have to keep going and keep going. And when you hit those tough spots where you think, oh, what's the point? That's when you need to keep going, because think about all the other people that are hitting those tough spots and then falling off and stopping.
Exactly. That happens all the time.
So you have to outlast your competition.
That's it. So if you want to come and say hello to us, go to homefragrance.academy, become a member, come and join our Facebook group,
Facebook, follow us. It is Home Fragrance Community, Home Fragrance Academy Community.
Yeah, come and join us. Come and have a chat. We'd love to talk to you. We do one-to-one coaching.
Yeah.
We do live coaching, group coaching.
We have marketing services available as well. So if you need any help with creating your social media content and what to post and everything like that, we can do that for you.
Yep, we are here to help you grow. Growing a business is difficult and can be a lonely place, but you don't have to be alone. We are here to help you.
We certainly are.
And on that note,
on that bombshell,
yeah, we will end this lovely podcast.
Yep, and we will be back next week with the next episode.
We will, absolutely. So thank you very much for listening if you've got this far through. If you're on YouTube, thank you very much. And we will speak to you next week.
Yes, see you soon, guys. Thank
Bye.
you.